Hello, welcome to Voices from the Field. This is a Mayford podcast. Today we have Bradley Land. He is incredible educator. I met him on social media, and he's a K through 8 physical education teacher based in Phoenix, Arizona, with a passion for making movement meaningful and fun for kids. Before his current role, he specialized in adaptive PE, working to ensure inclusive and accessible physical education for all students. In 2021, Bradley was honored as the Teacher of the Year in his school district, a reflection of his dedication and impact in the field. He is also the creator of PE Learn and Play, a YouTube channel designed to support PE professionals by sharing engaging activities, skill building games, kid friendly workouts, and creative, instructional, or do it yourself content for the classroom and beyond. Welcome, Bradley.
Hello.
It's great to be able to connect with you, and thank you so much for saying yes to this podcast. I'm really psyched about this. Before we get started, what's making you smile these days?
Well, great question. Summer vacation for me, I guess. I guess if you can call it that. I think doing stuff with the kid a lot sometimes is not as much a vacation, right?
Oh,
But
absolutely.
always out and about and doing things. So, but just a good time to spend quality time with family, friends. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so I got to go back there and see my whole family and spend a lot of time there with my wife and kid. And, he got to see his cousins and, all that
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, every day. And it's just a blast. It makes you just smile a lot. And then, of course, being here with you, Jake, I mean, this is an amazing opportunity for me, my first podcast. So, I mean, making me smile.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to spend time with family. And as you know, as teachers, we need that break. We kind of need that downtime to rejuvenate and rest after the year. So that's great to hear, Bradley. So tell our listeners more. How did you start your education journey? Tell us about that.
So, my educational journey probably wasn't exactly a linear path in terms of
Mhm.
being a teacher. I don't know how much I ever really considered that growing up, per se. Um, I do remember a long time ago, maybe when I was like 7 or something years old, and my parents would ask, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And I would say something like, "Well, I want to be a soccer player." Okay, well, if you're not a soccer player, what else do you want to be? I want a job where I can just play all day and run around.
Mhm.
Not to say that's what exactly, PE obviously is, but um, and especially as I got older, my interest was actually in art. And in high school, I took a lot of art classes, and I went to college to play soccer. So I was on that path and to maybe do art. When I was in college, I also got into coaching at the youth level for soccer.
Mhm.
And then when I decided to kind of ditch the art, I thought, oh, maybe going into education might be a good path. And, I just set myself up on a physical education path while I kind of tested some other things in college as well, like sports management or something like that. You know, some training things. Even after college ended, I tested maybe going into counseling or something.
Mhm.
But I had always stuck with the coaching. And so I actually, after soccer was over, I uh, graduated with just educational studies. I didn't go ahead and do my student teaching. I was like, I just came here to play, and I'm still figuring it out. So, but no, as I was coaching in one of my camps, another uh, leader of this camp, he put me in as a day job, getting connected with special education school district in St. Louis.
Mhm.
And I had a day job as a paraprofessional. Uh, and I mean, what an experience that was. It was amazing. The little girl I worked with, I mean, we developed some amazing bond, and as I was working in there too, I would see this guy come in and he would come to PE classes with us sometimes, and he was an
Mhm.
adaptive PE teacher. And I was like, that seems like a job I would really like. So anyway, I went back, I did my student teaching, and I got to do half of it at that school and half of it at another school. Had a really great experience in that. And ultimately, when my career crossroads kind of hit to where either I went one direction coaching or the other direction being a PE teacher, I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and became a PE teacher. So uh, that's
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 quite
kind
the
of the
story.
journey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great. So you had the experience with the special education and then coaching, and I think those kind of combined together to where you are now, right? And it sounds like you had a couple people that pushed you along the way too, that really kind of motivated you and inspired you to take the next step. So that's great too.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the classroom. What are some unique ways you engage and support your students? Either you can talk about the videos you do or talk about just some other ways that are unique.
Well, I think the videos, I mean, is one way.
Hmm.
So the videos is something that's, I think, relatively new in terms of, it's something that I had never really considered until COVID had hit, and I feel like that's a lot of what happened.
Hmm.
For a lot of people, gained new skills during that time.
Absolutely.
So certainly for me, that was one of them, videos, and I was just looking things up myself, whatever what was out there at the time, and then trying to do the best. One difference was I definitely wasn't posting anything at the time, but I I was using what I could make to reach my students, and then and then I also in my school district at that time. I don't know if they heard about it or something, but they developed an online school for the
Hmm.
following school year, and I happened to be the one of the kindergarten through second grade curriculum video content uh, people, if you
Hmm.
will, to make that for a semester or two, and they still, I guess, use that for their online school today.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah, so we we'll use the content for the kid friendly workouts that I'll create or something like that. Of course, like for maybe kids coming to class, we happen to have a two-way projector in
Hmm.
our school. So even for large classes, it's an easy way to just throw something on and they're working out at the time. You can go around, check in with students, do the exercise with them, um, see what they like. I have things that are like pick and choose. So like workouts. So kids can choose what they want. So you kind of get in like what the kids like. Um, but I'd say generally keeping things fresh.
Hmm.
So I think it's really important. I don't know unique wise, but I know for me, based off maybe some things that people may have seen is, and it is probably my adaptive PE experience. Is I if I see something that I think might engage students, I'm going to try and make it if I can't afford it.
Right.
Buying it for the school. Um,
That's such a great quality. I mean, I'm thinking of the ones that I saw. You have a bunch. But the one I saw was the badminton birdie attached right with the paper clip, and you have to hit it, and then it goes off. It spins. It's like a paddle skill where you have the birdie attached to another object, a pole or
yeah, yeah,
something. Yeah, so it's so creative, and like you said, you don't have to go out and buy it. You can make it. And just so our
yeah,
listeners are aware, these are all videos that you are in yourself and that you
correct.
created. You're not taking, some other video. The kids, and I'm sure that motivates the students to see their PE teacher in the video, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So yeah, on that note, like one of the things, and I think it's a great game. I mean, it seems that way as a I don't know, Jasmine, for instance.
hmm.
Um, is like this one where it's like badminton, it looks like, but you're hitting it through a square or and I look up online, I'm like, oh man, gosh, this costs a pretty penny.
Hmm.
And I was like, no, like I know that my upper grades would love to try it, like a challenge of hitting it through. And what ended up happening is again, like I think keeping things fresh and ability to change, like even within the class, just changing what you see and changing the rules to make it accessible for everyone.
Hmm.
So in this game, for instance, I was like, well, I really want to play this, but I can't afford that. But what I do have are volleyball poles, and I have rope, and I have, clothespins and juggling scarves. So a lot of things maybe PE teachers might already have. And like a lot of people already have pickleball paddles or paddles of some sort.
Hmm.
So all I did was I just set up a couple ropes and just put juggling scarves to make squares all the way across the gym. We got like 18 courts going at like one time. You could play
Nice.
2v2, hitting it through
Hmm.
the area. Or I said, like, if that's too much of a challenge and you want to play somebody just hitting it over, you could hit over the top one, or you could just play hitting it over the bottom rope. So it gave them many different options to play.
Right. Many
And
different access points. I think that's what I really like about your videos, Bradley, is there's so many different options and they're so easy to understand. I mean, we're a lot of us are pressed for time, right, as teachers. You have, I don't know how many shorts you have. You know off the top of your head?
I I
It's a
don't
bunch. It's a lot of shorts. So, for our listeners that don't know, shorts have to be what under a certain time frame, right?
they definitely they had to be under a minute, and I still shoot for that because I that's what I'm used to. That's where the music I put in cooperates the most.
Hmm.
But also yeah, they used to be under a minute. I think YouTube did up it to 3 minutes, but
Okay.
that's too long for me.
That might be cutting it, right? For the
Yeah,
attention span.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So, Bradley, let's talk about the creative process. When you have an idea, how do you develop the video? Like, what goes through your head, or what are the steps? Do you have like a template that you made up, or what are some of your go-to strategies for idea and then implementation?
So like the creative process, I would say, it's difficult because to explain, because I don't have something where I like, I guess an initial goal
Hmm.
that I'm working on. Let's say it just be more or less either in the moment, this is a need for
Got it.
us, so I'm going to like try this, and
Hmm.
if it works, let's post it, because it worked and it's fun. Or even I might be posting things. I'm just sitting there, and I remember doing that as an adaptive P.E teacher, and I think this might be helpful. So I'm going to throw that out there. In terms of the workout videos and stuff, I get a lot of my inspiration from a couple other channels on YouTube that I primarily started watching and using during those COVID times with my students, like right off the bat. So I see some of their ideas, and then maybe I want to take it a different direction just based
Hmm.
on the students I know.
Hmm.
And again, same thing. Now that I know how to do it differently, to a point where I think it might be a little engaging, I post those on YouTube as well. You know,
So all of
same.
these ideas you have, you try them with your student, and then they're successful. You want to share it with the wider audience. Is that right?
Correct.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. What are so talking about your channel? Do you have any long-term goals, or do you check the metrics on audience growth, or it's really just about, like you said, seeing what the students need, and then making a video to help them be successful, right?
So yeah, my long term, I don't, in terms of the channel itself,
Hmm.
you know, I, I've kind of gone through ways because, uh, just a little background on the channel is that initially it actually started out as speech learn and play, which was a
Oh,
combination of PE and speech. My wife, she is a speech language pathologist.
okay.
So, she knew I was good at making these things, at least for my students. And in terms, she would hear about that or hear from my colleagues or whatever. So she had a PLC that, um, like, group that wanted to do a video for speech. And so I made something for them based on her advice. I'm not a speech language pathologist, just act one on TV, I guess. So anyway, um, got it back to their PLC group. They presented. They thought it was really good. They're like, maybe you should post this stuff on YouTube. And so we kind of started out as a combo channel because I was posting some things she wanted to get on there.
Hmm.
Um, and then at some point, she was like, you know what? I don't need to have anything posted for speech. You could just take it over as PE Learn and Play. So we kind of split the channel, and then I kept the PE Learn and Play. So that at the some of my end of my shorts, it might say actually speech, learn and play,
Interesting.
subscribe. Yeah, that so
Yeah.
it kind of came from that. But long-term goals, when I first started, I got a couple videos that got these massive views to me. It seemed like in the beginning, I'm like, oh man, maybe this could be something more. um, but to be honest, I've kind of gone away from that idea.
Hmm.
So long-term goals for the channel is probably just to keep putting up things that I already do, but also then expanding on things. So, skills, activities, modifications to activities, or ways that you can adapt an activity within, uh, you know, those things. So just keep building on what I already have, and then um, if other people find it useful, reaching out. And I've done a couple presentations in my district. I would love somehow if more opportunities came and I got to present in more places, and
Yeah,
get,
that's
get
that's
my out
great.
there.
This isn't on the script, Bradley, but tell us more about that. Like when you presented, what did you showed your colleagues your content, or how did that look like? What did that PD look
Yeah.
like for them?
So a lot of some stuff on there, like I said, it's or like you've seen is DIY.
Hmm.
Um, And, our school was a new school built in 2020. We opened the school. So we opened the school during COVID. And you would think a new school would have all these amazing, nice things, right, for PE. No, I mean, we got, a small area. We don't have, volleyball, standards or anything that you can
Really?
just like hang nets across. So, we made all these.
Wow.
Um, and one thing when I present was to my district, especially this last time, was that what's an unknown thing sometimes is that every district might have these vendors that
Right.
are approved. And one of our district vendors is Lowe's. So if some of these standards they cost hundreds of dollars,
Right. A lot of money.
but
Right.
I can make two standards that are functional for volleyball, in under $60. And using with when you add in the closet rod, steel closet rod that we use. So we're able to build over time a bunch of these standards with the use of like a purchase card that our school will give us, or something like that.
Nice.
So because they know what we're putting it towards. So
So you're
yeah,
saving the district money, right? You're being creative and you're teaching your colleagues about this, but you're also saving a lot of money too. And
yeah.
it's all
So
the stuff you're doing is practical.
yeah, so like yeah, exactly. And then the first few of them, it's on my dime. It's like, I'm
Right.
because I gotta see if it works first before
Right.
I can
Right.
ask.
Test it out, right? Test it out.
Yeah. So but they're they're easy to make. So like generally speaking, like you just do it with the bucket, we do it with the whatever. So um I will present on how to make these things and first. And then after that, the rest of my presentation, at least in this way, which I got good feedback on, was a bunch of other things I created. Some of the things that you would find on the YouTube Shorts
Hmm.
or elsewhere, and I would have QR codes to each one of those as you would go around, and I just allow people to go experiment with all of them. So you go experiment with it. If you have any questions, come find me. In the area, I might be helping out other people,
Hmm.
and then brainstorming with other people. So I love like anyone that comes to me like, hey, you got an idea for this? Yeah, I would love to, let's brainstorm and chat about it. During my presentation, I had my pickleball tee, where it kind of is a hanging tee and you can hit the pickleball right off of it. And while I was doing that, some guy was saying that they were on they're playing badminton, and if they had anything for that. And I said, you got a paperclip? So we hung a paper clip off of that, and it fit the birdie right on it. You can hit the birdie right off. So, and then I made a YouTube short for that.
That's the one I was referring to. Yeah. So that's so creative. Just so many different ideas, and they're all practical. And again, I love the fact that there's different levels for different folks, there's different access points. It's not just one way, right? There's many different ways that the material can be utilized. So,
Yeah.
Bradley, what's the most rewarding part about doing all this, the channel? Aside from
Uh,
helping your colleagues, but
right,
in the greater audience, but
right. Well, it's interesting. I would say it's coming from a social media standpoint, it I want to, I guess one thing I want to put out there is that obviously likes, subscribers and followers and all that stuff is always like nice, but um that's kind of like the instant gratification.
Mhm,
And if we're teaching our kids anything, I would be like, that's not really what you're in it for.
mhm.
And it's not the most rewarding thing at all. The most rewarding thing is like something like this. Like, you see my content, invite me on here. I get to speak about it. You know,
Oh, it's an honor to have you. So it's
it
this is
it's I mean it's that it's like, the opportunities that seem to have, the small amount so far that has come from this, um, has been amazing, the most rewarding. And then also, like, when I presented to my district PE teachers and I got all the feedback from them, I mean, it was amazing. It was hugely rewarding from them to hear all the positive things they had to say. And usually I go into something like that and I'm thinking, if I, get to one or two people, like, I've
mhm,
done a good job.
right.
And I had like 20 plus, like, just great reviews on it from my colleagues. I was like, oh man, I had their attention. It felt great, you know?
That's
So
awesome. Good for you.
yeah.
So, Bradley, I'm sure people listening like maybe I want to do something like this. Do you have any advice to give anybody who maybe wants to start utilizing YouTube as a way to share what they know? How would you, what advice would you give somebody who just wants to start,
Uh, so actually, you know what? That brings to me like a great comment.
Mhm,
This really wise person had said to me before I was putting anything really on there, like, or trying more things to put on there.
mhm,
There's a quote. I think he put it backwards. So the quote, I think I might be wrong. Don't quote me on the quote. But it says like, good is the enemy of great.
mhm,
But the way this person put it was, great is actually the enemy of good.
mhm,
So basically, he put it in terms of, don't worry about perfection. If you have a good idea and you want to share it and you think others might enjoy it and it's good enough, put it out there. You know, um, uh, in case anyone like uh, needs to know or whatever is, on my channel, YouTube channel, I have the comments off.
mhm.
Um, so for me, I know that in terms of probably shooting up the YouTube board of whatever, I think comments are necessary. I think in terms of engagement, and then it gets YouTube thinking maybe
Like the
like,
algorithms, right? Change.
yeah, we want to
Yeah.
showcase this person. For me, uh, I have them off. Although it would be nice to interact with people that find the things useful,
Mhm,
ultimately you'll get negative ones too, I'm sure.
right.
So, or people that just get on there to, say something unnecessary.
Mhm,
And it's something, that part of it right now, either I'm not comfortable with or I'm not interested in. So, really, uh, I would say, know yourself,
mhm,
uh, put out something that you love to put out. So it doesn't feel like a ton of extra work, because making these things it's work and time.
right.
Um, so, and I would, other than that, it's like, once you start doing it, you'll start realizing, what you can do better, or how you can do it faster, or what
Mhm,
programs work the best for you.
mhm. Because it
So
sounds
yeah,
like you get into a flow of things and you know what works and what doesn't work, and you capitalize on making the everything more efficient, right?
yes,
As the
yeah,
process goes on. So,
correct,
um, very interesting, Bradley. How you're talking about, not the likes are nice, but it's not the main thing. It's really, especially with the way the YouTube algorithm works. You mentioned the comments and how that could help, but it's really about having a passion for what you do, and then just like you said, try your best, and put it out there if you think YouTube's ready for it. But I did have a question about the YouTube and the platform itself. What is something that you wish more people understood, or are there any misunderstandings about the platform of YouTube in your line of work, what you do?
Well, what I think YouTube seems tough
Uh-huh.
in terms of making it. I think it would be a grind. Like, I mean, you definitely got to. I think anyone that's looking at people that create content in any kind of
Hmm.
way, even if you have a groove, this stuff takes time. You
Right.
know, it's a lot of time out of your day. Like, the best time for me usually to get videos done is like early in the morning before anybody in my house is awake.
Got it.
So, other
Oh
than
yeah.
that, after that, I got a 4-year-old running to try and play with me,
Oh
and I
yeah.
got dude, father and at work and everything. Taking the video part is the easiest part. Putting it all together,
Hmm.
it takes a lot of time. Finding, I've listened through, I mean, I like my taste of music that I put with it, but just sifting through the soundtrack that you want to put in with your videos, and or how you want to come across to make it as engaging as you believe it will be. It all takes a lot of thought and time. Uh, and and I think that's coming from me, who, I don't uh, I'm not monetized or anything. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not making any money off of it, and I'm definitely doing it more for the love of it and more for
Hmm.
the sharing of it. But I know if you're going into it with that angle, just be prepared to, you know, put in the work because it's work. It is work.
No, that's honest. I mean, that's good advice. Um, we're coming to the close of this interview, but I did have a couple more questions. What type of goals do you have in the future? They could be personal or professional.
Yeah. So I think I touched on a couple of them.
Hmm.
On I guess they're personal and professional. It's like, I am looking into, maybe joining a few more organizations now. My kid's a little bit older. Things are a little bit more feasible in that way.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely want to get out and, you know, present to more people, or like at least get out in front of more people. Uh, I would, more PE teachers, make more connections. That's been really helpful in this too, is the more, people who see you, you see the more people that have PE teachers, and that are PE teachers out there, and you connect with them, or you see their stuff and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that in my class too,
Hmm.
or my kids would love this. So like, the personal goals is just more connection, and professionally, you know, yeah, it's just more organizations, more presentations, maybe more conferences too, you
Hmm.
know.
So
Uh,
you've gone to you have your local PD, right? As for your school district, and then you're thinking about maybe like more Shape Americas, those type of things. There's a lot of online P conferences too that are good, and a lot of online networks. There's HP Collective. Have you heard of that? Um,
uh, yeah, I think I just heard of that,
just
but
okay, yeah, it's pretty good. And so I can share more about that with you later on. But yeah, that's great advice. Just be involved. So Bradley, do you have any advice you can share with our listeners? Is there anything that you would like them to take away?
yeah, I mean, based off of just like, what I do, really, I would say there's nothing wrong with trying something new. You know, uh,
Hmm.
we teach that to our kids all the time. So if you have an idea out there, doesn't not talking about putting up videos or anything like that, but just in the classroom too, you're just like sitting there, you're like, oh man, this could be better, or I could try and do this with my students, or I want to give this a go. Like, don't be like afraid of it. I've had to step out of my comfort zone with this, a lot, and I think just trying something new and just seeing if it takes. If it doesn't, we have another day, or we try something else new. Um, and then also, this is just, again, personal standpoint is just be yourself. You
Hmm.
know, uh, we recently had student teachers this past semester at our school. I co-teach, and we got lucky and we got two of them. We each got one.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was great. But one thing I wanted to make sure that I told them, going into this profession too, is, and especially coming from us as mentor teachers, was, we don't want them to be mini me's, like mini us.
Right,
Like
right.
we see them. And just like each one of our students, each one of our classes are different and they learn the best in different ways. No teacher teaches the same way. Or you don't need to copy another person. You can be yourself. You can, do what is best for you and for the kids,
Hmm.
and find your happy medium so that it's the best experience for everyone. And,
Well said.
yeah, I think that they reached that while they're under our care, and they're two great young guys, and they'll do great. And so that's probably the my best 2 cents I think I could put out there.
Very well said, Bradley. I couldn't agree more. So obviously you're on a bunch of different social media platforms. So we have an email, right? pandaphysed22@gmail.com. Then we have YouTube, youtube.com at PE Learn Play, and then Instagram at PE Learn Play, and then TikTok, right? At PE Learn Play. So it's all the same hashtag, so to speak, or handle, right? So
Correct. Yeah, I'm fortunate that it worked out that way because I've started each one later down the road as I think, oh, maybe I should be on that one too, I guess. Uh,
it worked
so
out.
yeah, anything that's on YouTube Shorts is probably on Instagram, and then Instagram has a couple other things that don't really fit into YouTube Shorts. It's like I know I have on that one, for instance, I have like some PowerPoints
Hmm.
that could be helpful for PE teachers, and then but yeah, anything on TikTok is probably on Instagram. So, and I
Okay.
just started that a few weeks ago.
Oh, awesome. Good for you. Good for you. Well, Bradley, thank you so much for sharing your experience and expertise with us. Listeners, if you have any questions, you can always email us at mayfordpodcast@gmail.com. We'll have this episode uploaded soon. We're also asking our listeners to leave a review if this podcast has been helpful in supporting you in any way, as it does help other folks find it. Thank you all for listening. Have a great week, and we'll be back soon.